Hello everyone and welcome back to .NET Core Central. Today I'm going to take a deep dive on asynchronous streams in C#8. In my last video I discussed about top 5 features of C#8 in my view. Today I'm going to take a deep dive on one of those features, which is asynchronous stream. The point of discussion today is what is a synchronous stream? What is the difference between asynchronous streams and reactive extensions? And then I'm going to implement an asynchronous stream application where I would have a web API which will call out to OpenWeather API to get weather information based on few zip codes, and that a client application which will call this new API in an asynchronous stream or using an asynchronous stream. So what is asynchronous stream? Asynchronous stream, as the name suggests, is a stream of asynchronous data which we can loop through to access it using an await keyword. Just like an async implementation, asynchronous stream also is accessed through await, but in async we just await on a function. In asynchronous stream we await on a for each loop and loop through it. So the fundamental difference between async and asynchronous stream is async always returns a single value or a scalar value, and asynchronous stream is a collection. Now in terms of difference between asynchronous stream and reactive extension is one is pull mechanism, another one is push. Asynchronous stream is always a pull mechanism, so we are calling a function to return us a collection of asynchronous stream, right? And then we do a for each on it. Whereas reactive extension is push. We subscribe to a stream, and as and when the data is available to us, we get a call back, right? And that is more in terms of push mechanism. Now that we understand the difference between asynchronous stream and reactive extension, let's dive into the implementation detail. So for the implementation, first I'm going to create a web API. So I'm going to create a new project. It's .NET Core. Let's say I'm going to name it as Weather Alert API. This is a simple application. First thing I'm going to do is in startup, I'm going to add the HTTP client to call out to Weather API. Once this is registered, I'm going to go into the controller and make some changes here. This is the default implementation which we are going to change. So here we want to read data from, we want to take an input zip code, and based on that we will find out what is the weather. I'm creating the class right here just for simplicity, but we should not do that. The class should always go with own file. This is just to demonstrate. So I'm just going to create the model for open weather. It's a huge model. I'll just create like a couple of attributes for that. And next I'm going to provide my app ID here and then run this application. So I made a small mistake here. Let me fix it. And then I'll provide my app ID and start the application again. So we can see it is returning some number. Okay, now we are going to create the new console application. So here, first thing I'm going to do is copy paste the models from the server side. That's what we would need. And I'm going to just paste it here for simplicity. And then create a function which is going to return an asynchronous stream. And now we want to have multiple zip codes and call for each zip code, right? So that we can create a asynchronous stream of data. So I'm going to first create a array of zip code. So after getting the response, I'll just read the content and deserialize it into weather model, and then I'm going to return something like the humidity, but instead of just returning an int, I'll also return the zip code so that I can print appropriately. So here I'll probably return a tuple. And here now it's time to return the data, and this is where the enumerable implementation, or for returning it so that it can be enumerated through and have delayed enumeration, I'm just going to use yield. And this is something is also goes hand in hand with async or asynchronous stream, the yield return. So yeah, so I have to do a await on for each, and then because I'm doing it inside main, I'll just make the main as a sync and task return task instead of void. So now this code is ready. I'm going to run this code and see the output. Oh, I have the spelling mistake here. So let me fix it and run it again. Not again. Localhost / 5000. Okay, look like it's working now. Yeah, as you can see, it's working. I don't know why everything is returning 93, but that's not the main point of this demo. But you can see that we created a service and then we created this function which returns a synchronous stream, and we saw how the implementation is. We have to have a yield return, and that returns makes this as an asynchronous enumerable, and when we have async enumerable, we can do await on for each and then return the data. This async enumerable or async enumerable definitely works when we are making a call outside, or an IO call, which is essentially a DB call or an HTTP call, where internally also we can implement async. I think that is where it's most valuable. But there might be other cases. If you have any other cases in your mind where it is really helpful, please leave a comment below. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe it. And if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any other suggestion about how to make the content better, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to make it better for you. Thank you so much.